I shush, that means I disagree with the energy and I want it down. So after I shush, if he starts to raise his energy, it get corrected for it.
Oh my gosh. Otherwise, is just through the roof, unmanageable. Can't even touch him, can't even say anything, can't even move.
Good.
How good is Bane?
He's so good. He does exactly the right thing. Oh, baby boy.
See, that's how you should be able to pet a dog.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. This is not uncommon, by the way, what he's doing. It's just we don't live with dogs like that, so it feels very uncomfortable and intense. But I think a lot of people live with them like that. That's just how they are. They say that's just how the dog is.
He used to pee when you pet him too.
Yeah, overexcitement, overstimulated. Let it yawn.
I love you so much. You're so good. You're so great. Good and great. Good. Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Yes. Yes. Good. Yes, yes, guy. Yes, baby. Yes. Good. See, I'm rewarding this state. Good. It's just a state. It's just dogs, they're just association machines, right? They find out what works and they just put it on autopilot and then they'll just keep doing it. So now I'm changing his responses to be chill, and he realizes that's what gets the praise, that's what gets the pet. See, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's nice. That was so nice. Good. Oh, yes. Look at that boy. That's amazing. What a good boy. What a good boy. What a good boy. Good. See that sound? He's starting to see that sound. He's like, wait a minute. That sound is now a setup, right? And he's not falling for it. And I say, I'm proud of you. Okay? Now, it's important to remember that this guy, that association to humans was developed. It was created. So now we're kind of countering it, right? We're saying that response that you have is no longer wanted. This new response is what we want. Even around people, strangers, who we are going to run into very shortly, that are going to be baby talking you as they walk by and asking to touch you. And there's going to be crowds of people wanting to touch you. I'd like you to go into that calm state. It would really please me, right? Good. And then if that's where the pets come in, then all of a sudden the dog's rewarded response is that one. And the one that we're discouraged is the excited one. So guess which one goes away? The excited one goes away. That is science. Good. Good. Now I'm gonna start. So we're just in the situation. The most important part today, this is why this is gonna be a little bit chill. I'm not even gonna ask him to do anything more than this because I just want him to learn this skill is very valuable. Good. And by the way, it's a learned skill. He's learning it. He's learned it, but he wasn't always like this either. You see, he's throwing himself into this space without us saying because he's learned like, oh, humans like this. When we're not doing anything, they love when I just wait.
calmly and don't make a noise and don't do anything. Don't put any demands on them. Just wait for them to tell me what's next. They love that. So he's learned it. He uses it. All the dogs use it. He's learning it. And it feels great when they finally learn it and find value in it. And that's what today's all about. He did not rush up on you. That's, this is the third time doing this. He didn't make the mistake. Very nice. And so that's when the pet comes, okay? So instead of petting him when he's nudging on you and whining, because you're just reinforcing that state and that relationship dynamic, I pet him when he made a good choice. He went like this and calmed himself down more. That's where the pets come pouring in. See that? Shift to the hips over. All those little things get rewarded. So now I'm patterning in the good stuff, right? Where previously this guy would have been nudge, 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 whine, 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 uncontrollable. So we're just trying to console him. Look, even these movements, that's for me. That movement's got to be for me, right? It always has been for me.
But look at Bane.
Yeah, Bane knows. Bane's been living like this for a few years now, though. I remember when we first met him, he was crazy. But, look at what he's done. Look how well he does. And thank you. So that sounds really nice. The reason why that sounds nice is because it's very specific. You don't hear a lot of people saying that sound. Okay? I'm going to give him some informals here. Good. And that's just to say, I disagree with the choice you just made. Good boy. So then he made a different choice, which was one of more relaxation. There's a whine there. Now we're going to go through it.
Impatience.
Good.
He's not used to waiting for us.
Not used to waiting for a lick of anything, only being restrained. Not actually, because he's not restrained. He could get up and move.
Like a bucking bronco.
Watch this. Now the next step for this particular exercise, I'm going to catch him when he whines. And then I'm going to correct him and send him away. Yeah. So these are, if you go back to like how to train your puppy, right? And you go Googling it and stuff, you're going to see very calming protocols, like make them wait for their food. Don't keep resources down. Only, when you play with your dog, you initiate it and you stop it. Don't let them rush out the door. You hear these things everywhere, and that they're just little things you can do with your dog throughout the day to leadership exercise, remind them of the dynamic between you two, but also instill patience. That's why we do these silly little things. And also, we don't give our dogs something if we can't take it away. Like we make sure we practice giving and taking away, and that goes for freedoms, right? So it's like, hey, come up on the couch. Okay, now get off the couch. And if we're struggling with get off the couch, then we know if he's struggling with getting off the couch, that essentially just means he's not doing what you ask him to do, which is going to transfer to every other aspect, which means as soon as we're outside, if we can't get him to behave in our living room, it's not going to happen outside, right? So when you leave here, it's all about going home and everything we do. It's not only just for management to make our life better, because it will be. It's about getting that dynamic right. While he's under a year, get that dynamic right between him and his owners, right? And the way you live with him is going to send them the right message every day, which you'll learn here on your go home how to do it, where he'll actually see his position in the pack as below you, which means he has to go through you to get to the things he wants. And once he accepts that, there is no anxiety. There's just acceptance, right? If there was anxiety, like let's say this guy starts whining, correct? Why? Because I don't want to hear that, okay? I don't want that thought to continue. So you can have the emotions. I'm not telling you not to have the emotions. I'm just saying don't whine, don't bark. So I'm saying no to certain choices, and what it leaves left is relaxation. When the dog chooses relaxation, that's where this comes in. Okay, so it's literally the opposite of what's been done, raising most dogs, including him. So it's just kind of the reverse. You put it on repeat for a while. Now you got the opposite of what you had before. Before we had a dog who did not listen. Now we have a dog that listens. Okay? Good. This is the real deal situation here, by the way. Try this. Try going to a field and then having a stranger with a dog show up, or a friend or somebody, and see what happens. The dog's it's not going to listen if it hasn't been trained under these circumstances. So that shows how impressive what he is doing is. Good. It's very impressive.
I know it doesn't look like much. It's like
it's like
people criticizing Olympic athletes from their couch.
Yeah. Because this doesn't look like we're doing. It's like, what are they doing? Like, he's practicing.
The curling team.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and try.
It's harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than it looks. So, but this is where it's all. These types of situations is really what will show you where the dog is. A lot of people say the dog's okay, they're pretty good, but they don't listen in moments where they need to. We set up moments like this so the dog can learn that it's not negotiable in all these situations, and they can learn the easy path, which is that's the easy path. See that mind? It's all about the mind. Even if he didn't know much as far as commands, well, if he knew a lot, if he knew all the commands, it wouldn't matter if he's made up his mind that he's not going to listen. It doesn't matter what he knows. It doesn't matter if he can read or write. If he doesn't do his work, he's not going to be good in school, right? He's not going to get good grades. So him knowing the commands is one thing. Him knowing commands and then having a leader of a human and being a committed follower in his own mind is what's going to give us the good stuff. Because now we have a dog who has decided on their own that this is somebody that is worth listening to. Okay? Keep that in mind. Commands are important. They're very important, but your relationship trumps everything. Okay? Just movement. Just add movement in to see what he does. Believe it or not, most of the time the dog would make a mistake and just get right up as soon as I started moving.
Huge improvements from yesterday and the day before.
Good.
We can finally start something new tomorrow.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. This is so big for him. This is really boils down to the core issue, right? It's like, will he listen in an environment where there's things that he'd much rather be doing? Which, let's face it, that's in every environment pretty much, Good. Look, he's accepting it. He looks good. Let's end it here so he can learn that this was a response that was successful, and then he should be used. We'll be seeing him using this more and more and more in multiple situations until it is now his new response to situations that might have been stressors in the past. See, he's holding himself accountable. You see that? He started to get impatient while I was talking, and then he calmed himself down. So this is the beginning. Odin, break. Good boy. Good dog.